Hello, this is Professor Rigolino, wanting to take this time to go over some things you need to think about while you're drafting your major project. So, number one, I'd like you to make sure that you revise the annotated bibliography before you place it into your e-portfolio. You don't have to place it in right now, but you definitely want to look at my comments and make those corrections before it goes into your e-portfolio, because that will be part of your grade for the e-portfolio and major project 2. What else should you do? I'm trying to skip ahead here. There we go. Go back and look at my comments on your graded annotated bib, and also on the outline in Unit 10. Please read my comments. They're on the essay itself. 3, pay super close attention to MLA formatting requirements, because that's a big part of Composition 1, is showing that you've mastered those skills. How do you bring in a quote? How do you bring in paraphrased information? How do you use those in-text citations? Did you format them correctly? Did you put things into italics that need to be in italics, and titles that are in quotation marks, are they done correctly? So all of those little things are super important. 4, cite sources even when you place them into your own words. That's a big one. We talk about that a lot, about plagiarism. You want to make sure you cite information every time you bring it in, and be sure to use those in-text citations to do so. Don't take up a lot of space when you're drafting with these lengthy quote introductions. I'm going to give you this example. According to the article entitled "The Impact of Weather on Student Attitudes in North American Cities," which was written by John Smith and published in 2015 in the Journal of Student Emotions. Now I get to the quote. Students earn higher grades when exposed to more sunshine. Don't do this, because it's basically just taking up space and it's not helping anyone out. So you see the example below would be something more normal. According to research, quote, students earn higher grades when exposed to more sunshine, or even better perhaps on this slide. According to research from a longitudinal study conducted in 2015, contextualize it a little bit. Now you can throw in your quote and cite it correctly. Now, if you look at the first example, there's no introduction. You want to definitely introduce that quote, and don't just leave it hanging there by itself in a sentence. It should be introduced, but not with some kind of excessive introduction. So, what are some things here for you? You say, well, I haven't done MLA in a while. I'm not sure exactly all the rules. Well, the great thing is, in Major Project 1, I've put in a lot of outside important resources for you to look at. I'm going to say right now, if you haven't looked at these two, which I think everyone has, but if you haven't paid much attention, these are both essays that were written a couple of years ago by students in this particular course. So just to review, how should it look on the page? What should my works cited page look like? That there's the works cited page with the hanging indents. You'll notice that the journal titles are in italics. You'll notice that you may need to put that in yourself, and I said that in an earlier video. That is oftentimes the case. But some of the things to pay attention, especially if you haven't done this in a while, is how these in-text citations go. So for example, this is information here in the person's own words. Right here is some information that he found in a study, and you see how I put the author's last name, and because there were more than one author, he put et al. And then this is the page number. Don't put in the year, it's the page number. And again, here is some information from a study, and this just had one author, Meltzer, and there's a space there, no comma, space, and then the page number. Now, when you do copy and paste from a source, or just copy, write it out, you need those quotation marks. And look where the quotation marks are placed. They're not placed over here, they're placed over here, Okay, so please refer to this paper. It may not be perfect, but I think it serves as a great model for an argument essay with a bit of research. This will take you out to Purdue OWL that will provide you some information about how to do MLA. It gives you a big MLA guide. In fact, it could be a little bit overwhelming, but definitely has a lot of stuff there. This is a video about how to make a hanging indent. This is pretty good about MLA formatting from the University of Wisconsin. The only thing I would say is that they give you some information about putting in paragraphs. Please do not do that. I'm not looking at the paragraphs. If there are no page numbers, just put it in without the paragraph number, no page number. All right. What else here? Oh, yeah, before you do draft, be sure to just look over this basic idea for organizing your thoughts. And this particular, if you don't have to follow this exactly, but I think it is a pretty good way to lay out the argument. Definitely look at this handout on introducing quotes. You're going to introduce the idea, you're going to quote, right? Transition, you're going to introduce it, you're going to quote, and then you're going to cite. Whenever you put a quote in, or even when you paraphrase information. So this gives you some ideas for words you can use to integrate quotations. And again, this is especially, and here's another, this is a PowerPoint that I do in class. So all of this, again, may be a lot of review. You haven't done this in a little while, and that's fine. So be sure to go over that material, use these as resources. Now, remember, where can you find information, my feedback? Well, if here I am in Unit 10, and if I click here, oh, well, there's not a lot written there, right? So you say, oh, okay. So go and look at the actual essay, because this is where, the outline, this is where I have put information. Be sure to go back in and look at this, the feedback that I've given you, and even if you've gotten a great grade on this, I guarantee I've left a little bit of information that may be helpful for you. So, but go back and look at that. And then, as usual, the annotated bibliography, you go back to where you uploaded it, right? You click the view complete. And if you click view, you'll be taken to the feedback, and the feedback is directly written on the essay itself. So if you look here, you're going to see a lot of feedback throughout, and I've line edited. It's not just a general comment. I've given some line editing there. So please take the time to go back and to go back over my comments before you actually write your rough draft.